welcome to another episode of the Capcom Podcast. I'm Cameron.
I'm Seb.
I'm Justin.
I'm Anthony.
And welcome to Season 3, Episode 1, the first episode of 2025 of the Capcom Podcast. And Justin has stopped using his exclamation marks for the new season.
We need something new. Justin always needs.
Are there gonna be
something
smiley
new.
faces now?
Yeah, and it's gonna
Yes.
be one
That
more,
was-
Every
I mean,
single episode.
that was
and
the
it's gonna get
concept.
more joyful each time.
That's kind of the dream and goal right there. That's what I'm thinking. But if there's any objections, anyone in the chat could let me know. But if no one messages in the chats, I'll just have to roll with it. So
No objections for you ever, Justin. Never.
I do what I want.
You do what you want and you do it well. That's just a fact.
Wow, we're getting 2025 off to a really good start.
Did you say 2025? Immediately crash and burn. Love that.
2020,
I don't want to talk about it. I think we should move on to the next thing that's not about me.
So, guys, how was your holiday time?
Oh,
How
that's
was
about me.
start into the new year. Justin, since you've now volunteered, why don't you start?
Gosh, no, I mean today this has been like a nice easygoing time. When was the last time that I was recording for a podcast? It would have been Nightmare Before Christmas. How long ago was that?
Yeah, what is night?
Was that November?
That was November. Yeah, that was our
Ooh.
Thanksgiving episode.
Thanksgiving episode. Okay, so that means that it was like right after I got back from LA where we did our Anime Insanity 2 movie premiere event, but right before I went to Australia for 2 weeks. Which I mean everything post the last II episode coming out has just been like you take a big breather. I guess since then we announced that we're doing more of the show a few days ago
You guys
publicly.
announced that? I actually didn't
Yeah,
know
we
this.
did. We announced that a few days ago. We announced that on New Year's Eve.
Nice.
As our big guess what? 2025 will be fun. And then so now we're kind of revving back into starting to get work done. And I missed it because I don't know what to do with myself when I don't have work to do. So I'm like laser focused now. Let's heck and go.
Perfect.
How about y'all?
Who wants to go next? Seb?
Yeah, nice Christmas time. A lot of work on Christmas Eve and on the second day of Christmas. Working between the holidays, working on New Year's Eve, but being happily done 30 minutes before midnight. So I wasn't
Jeez.
working into the new year, and yeah, well, I had fun. I have nice colleagues. It's friendly.
You didn't want to work into the new year?
If I can be done and not stand there working while it's getting into the new year, yeah, like I'd like to finish my work and not take it with me into the next year, if you get what I mean.
That's I guess. New
So-
slate, you know?
Yeah, new
get that.
plate.
New plate, new slate,
Yeah,
new tablecloth.
No, same old tablecloth.
Dang it. It was this close.
No spills. Yeah. Talking about tablecloths, Cameron, what's on the canvas for you?
Jeez, that was a smooth
Good
transition.
transition.
I gotta give you props for that. Let's wait. Where's my
Give
marker?
us your projection.
Where's my marker?
Hurry! Keep it
Sure.
smooth. Keep
Sad.
it smooth.
Dad gets 1 point.
We're
that,
doing
okay.
points.
We're doing
You know-
points.
You know I've wanted to do points for
I
so
know you
long.
have. We'll do it now. I'll write Seb here, Justin here, Anthony here, and then Cameron here. And I actually did not plan this, which is why this is kind of super impromptu, but we now started a bit for the year. So there we go. Yeah, Justin?
Yes, Justin.
Can I get a point for enthusiasm?
You can get a point for enthusiasm right there.
You can't ask for points. That's not how points work, though.
You can always ask. Asking is
Justin, if you're
never-
going to ask for points, you're going to lose a point. Disappoint for Justin. All right.
for compliance.
Anyway, what's up with me? We had a great Christmas and New Year. I was in the Czech Republic for a few days there, having some fun. We went to Carlsbad, which is a fun little nice city. It was basically we went to a hotel
Is that
called
then Charlesbeth in English?
no, it's called Carlsbad.
Oh. Funny that Americans use the German name for a Czech town that has a Czech name.
Yes. But yeah, so we had a fun time, taking a rest. I also tried to take a breather over these past 10 days, or a couple weeks, I guess, even though for those that know me know I didn't actually take a break. I was working on scripts. But what I can say is we have a lot of cool stuff planned. If you guys haven't watched our end of the year video that I posted last week, please do. With Anthony and Justin are both like full on board members of this company. So if you have problems, you have to blame them too. Justin's like, "What are you talking about?" Even though
I get
have a
blamed for
contract.
things and get yelled at. I deserve points.
Sure. If anyone yells at Justin in the chat, he will get a point. That is not canon.
Sure will.
Justin, you can't yell at yourself in the chat to get a point. You'll lose points that way. But we did announce Split by a Pond as our next short film, and I'm so excited. Like, super excited. Yeah. I mean, Satomi will be coming on a podcast at some point over the next couple of months, which would be cool.
Can you elaborate on what that means to the audience?
Yes.
So Split by Pond is my next short film. It's about a kid who goes to a therapist to try to kind of figure out who he is, and the whole movie revolves around him being both German and American. Yes, it is very autobiographical to an extent. Satomi, who will be the therapist, is also an absolute nerd and a lovely human being. And so I'm gonna try. We were talking about bringing her on the podcast at some point. Seb, are you gonna seriously yell at Justin?
No, of course I won't.
Wait, no, wait. I actually need to look at the comments real quick.
That's cheating, Seb. What the heck?
How does your mum ask in the live stream chat if you're
No
live?
cheating.
Yeah, I love it. But also, apparently, we're supposed to have comments. Doesn't support comments on private.
And what's Delish water?
No idea. Oh, Delish water, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Anyway. Yeah.
Anyway,
We have, it's a really cool film. I really believe in it. We're still in the later development, early pre-production stages of it. And I can't wait to show you guys. I mean, Justin, you just read the script. Do you want to give like a 1-sentence comment on how you think the movie is?
oh, on what I think. I thought you could ask for like a synopsis. And I'm
I
like,
mean, if you want to give both, I'd
I
love
am
both.
an expert.
You are an
please,
expert.
please. But no, what I think of it, I think all of Cameron's best work involves taking something that's very, very personal to him and being able to bring that to the stage. And I think in the past we really saw that with Knocking on Doors and taking a very personal element of life. I'm not gonna look at the haters right now. Not looking at the haters. Not looking at the comments. Not looking at the comments. Gonna finish this thoughts.
That was a point for Seb and for Justin.
I think Cameron work is good. I'm going to leave it there because I've lost my train of thought for some reason.
But you enjoy the script?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Anthony, of course, will be heading up
It feels
post-production. And we have a really cool crew that if you follow our Instagram page at Split by Pond, you will be seeing. I think next week we're gonna announce the whole crew, or at least all our heads of department who's going to be on this project. We have a really cool cast of characters. A lot of people joining us from my last movie. A couple people new. So it'll be great. It'll be great. We'll love it. It'll be great. So
It's gonna be a good time.
Anthony, how was your Christmas, New Year's, first week into New Year?
It was great. I actually took off the whole week of New Year's. So it was amazing to just, I didn't say I did nothing. I also did work, even though I was off. But I went down to Virginia to see a friend of mine. Beautiful drive. Ate some amazing food down there. I got to see a beautiful city of Richmond. With a lot of character, a lot of Southern charm. and we had 25 people come over for Christmas. Did the 7 Fishes for Christmas, and got to see my aunt from South Carolina. It was a fun time. Spent a lot of time with family and friends, and drank too much eggnog sometimes.
I love those things. Good
That's a
job.
ridiculous amount of people in a household.
Yes, it was tight. Like
And
I have a
yeah, your house is like, I wouldn't say like huge. I wouldn't say
No.
small, but it's not like
No.
huge.
yeah. It was tight. I mean, my room was the coat room, so my bed was compiled of like 80 coats. It felt like we had a kids table in our living room and our dining room. I was a waiter for a little bit, giving people beer, wine, food, stuffed shells. I think at one point one of my friends came by too, and then they left. They left. They're like, "There's a lot of people here." It was fun. It was fun.
You did an amazing break. I'm so proud of you. You're
Love
so
that.
strong.
Um,
And now we have bad develop.
why do I feel like you know this person, Justin?
I-
And it's the
Yeah.
cover.
I frankly don't, but I'm intrigued. I've never
I'm
heard
sure.
of Justin before, but some upon this live stream gotta say Justin's.
This is gonna be our real.
I
100%.
have guesses, but who's to say really?
Who's to say? Who knows? Anyway,
Ooh.
bad development. We also think that Justin is the best guy.
The best guy, like in forever.
In like
No.
forever, which is to say that like a forever ago there was a different best.
There's a
guy,
different
but,
guy?
like,
Got you. I need to before we go into this movie, because we need to talk about this movie. I need to mention mention the thumbnail for this. This thing, which I now need to find.
for
Give
this
me a sec.
video, yeah.
This video?
What did you do?
Did you look at the thumbnail?
Yes,
do you
of
have any-
course. I'm pulling
Um,
it back up because I'm always like,
for real. That looks good.
that looks, yeah, it's from the movie. This is so what I've started to do now, starting with National Lampoon. I think I've now started to put custom thumbnails on these videos because Justin kept complaining that.
well, because okay, if one of the main draws of the podcast is going to be to to say to a general audience that is not already familiar with the podcast, hey, we talk about these films that you'd like. Of course, you're going to want a thumbnail that advertises the film that they may be interested in hearing about already. That's your biggest sell, your biggest draw. And I'm very conflicted because this is hilarious, but also faces are like the way that people recognize characters, which is going to be the thing that draws them to the thumbnail. But this is also awesome, so I can't really complain.
No,
Where did you get that photo of me? I don't even know what that is. That looks
That is
like
a photo. Remember when we shot Stuck in the City?
Yeah.
Did
That was
you
a long
take my
day.
face from the Christmas market photo?
No,
'Cause I
No.
don't know which.
Why am I squinting in mine?
I don't remember either. I
Because you never asked to send.
so when we officially officially upload every quarter, like announce our episodes, and right before we announce them, I spend like the prior 2 weeks before making all the thumbnails. So yeah,
It's a work of art. Thank you.
I love this.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
I just
Thank
need to point. I need to give myself some praise because I worked hard on these thumbnails, and this was my
Point
favorite
for
one of the bunch.
Cameron.
This is my favorite one in the bunch, only because it just fits so well, especially if you know who's who in the story. Yeah, with Justin being the sound guy.
Never again.
Never again. I'm the director. I believe Anthony.
Looks like I'm the AC
You're the AC.
or the
and
producer. I
then
can't
Seb
tell.
is the camera op, and I love it. Anyway, let's start with our movie this week. My first film.
So yeah, we are
Justin-
going to be talking about Cameron's first ever film. It's called Banana Bandits.
Ooh.
We're not.
That's what I watched before this.
I hope you didn't.
What do you mean?
What did you watch before this?
I watched
Did
Cameron's
you-
first film.
did you really watch Banana Bandits?
Did you really watch
I
Banana
really,
Bandits?
I don't know if this is a bit or not.
Why?
I'm really concerned this is not a bit.
You said we were gonna watch your first film.
No, he said we.
No,
watched my
the
first
film is called My First Film.
I thought that for a
Wait,
moment.
it's your
too.
first
This is a
film?
bit. This is a bit. This cannot be a bit. If this is not a bit, I'm gonna-
Justin, I just want to say I love that you actually went into the process of going through Cameron's work, and I think that's a great deal. And I love that you went to that length.
I
Here's
hear a
the
great
thing.
deal about Cameron, and Banana Bandits isn't even accessible.
Right.
But that'd be the tip.
well, that's
off.
one thing. The other thing is Banana Bandits isn't even my first film.
No, it's on YouTube.
It's not on YouTube. Banana Bandits should not be on YouTube.
I still want to compliment Justin.
Oh.
I agree. It should not be
I
on
have it.
YouTube. Do not let it go on.
Yeah.
Were we complimenting? Were we complimenting something about complimenting me? Or?
Yeah, I just want to compliment you for no apparent reason.
This is the real Seb. I just want to
see.
say, can Seb please get a quarter point for every time he compliments Justin in this episode?
I'll
You're almost gonna make me stop.
consider
I'm gonna stop the bits point in a minute if this is the way that our
I didn't bring it up once since it was
I know
first brought up. So this is not on me. Give me points.
point for Anthony for looking on his phone.
My boss calls me. I need
What?
to take
Oh yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Anyway, Justin, do you actually want to give because you're so great at this? You want to give a synopsis about my first film?
My first film is a wonderful drama documentary recreation of the process of someone putting together her first film, this eclectic surrealist piece that chronicles a very difficult time in the artist's life from a time prior. So we are witnessing this recreation of the filmmaking experience while hearing the same director look back on the events from a vantage point of about 10-15 years afterwards, recalling the
Spot on.
events that have so deeply affected her, because the film is about the filmmaking of a film that was very important to this person, but that inner world film is about a deeper, other personal point in this person's life, and it's a whole self-discovery piece about birth and creation.
Yeah,
That was beautiful. I say give
Oh.
Justin a point for that.
that's a point for Justin.
I'm a point machine.
That was such a beautiful synopsis. Like I could not have done that better. That
No,
was
100%.
phenomenal.
I should write these out ahead of time because on the
Well,
spot I'm like,
Here's the
some
thing.
word over
You're
word.
just so good at it that you've now become the point person to do
Yeah,
the
that was
synopses.
phenomenal.
Like every
synopsis.
single time. we
That is
do
right. I am the point person. Give me the points.
Yeah, sorry for disturbing. My boss called me, and I now have to work tomorrow morning.
Fun.
Sometimes things like
Love
happen.
that.
You
mean,
are
I
excused
I
for
didn't want to
disturbing.
disturb this. I mean, I'm just not as good as a podcast person as Justin is. I mean, he would never disturb us like this.
No, I mean, I think the
Damn,
goal of if you
Justin's
need to
popping
disturb the
off.
group, you have to do it with a comedic sensibility. But yes, I hope that that hit on everything there.
You did.
What
100%.
is the general vibe for our little movie here? What
I mean, so this was my pick.
what we
Like,
think?
This was my pick. I think that's very clear.
It
this
feels
is
like a
like-
very Cameron
it's fun.
film.
It felt like a very me film, and it also felt very connected with the film on so many levels. Like I felt like this movie very much like embodies what a director is, and like especially like the nervousness of a first film, or even like just an early film in general. I don't know. I just felt it, and it just like I was so enamored by it the whole time. I really loved. I love this. It was like I love that we start with this movie because I have so much to say. From like just the characterization to the dynamic of characters to just even the opening of her email to the studio, basically like telling them to screw off. It just I love every moment of this movie, and there is no true dull moment
And the biggest issue that I have with a lot of like indie films and like art house films is that most art house indie films love to have a second act that just drags on for too long.
A little
Um,
rude, but I'll accept it.
Am I wrong? I think I have that issue as well sometimes.
Sure.
It's a very much like either very long first act or long 2A. And this film its beats, I think, hit so very well. And so like I'm so happy we got to make this as our first film of the season.
I mean, it feels like a very continuous stream of
Point for
consciousness.
Cameron.
Cool, love that. Thank you.
Quick question.
We can't interrupt every single moment
Sorry.
of conversation with giving a point unless it's for me.
Quick
Point
question.
for Justin.
I was on the phone and didn't realize. So, was it now a bit that Justin didn't watch the movie, or did he actually not watch?
No,
it?
we watched the movie.
Oh,
It was a bit.
Okay.
It was a bit.
They sure did.
Extra point for Justin.
Fine, extra point.
My funny thing with the movie is when Cameron first told me about the movie, like, or at least reminded me that I still need to watch the movie. He was like, "Yeah, my first film," and I was like, "Okay, so which one of yours?" And he was like, "No, it's called My First Film, but actually it has a lot of similarities to me. It's based if you watch it, it's gonna basically be me in a nutshell." And I was like, "Okay, so now you're gonna make me do an arts and crafts thing, take half of a walnut, cut out of the tiny face picture if you put it in there, and when he says that, it's gonna be like, yeah, it's him in a nutshell." Then I watched the movie and immediately lost the fascination of doing that, because as much as I love the movie, I couldn't really see the similarities to Cameron, because I feel like he is much more organized than the movie. As weird as that sounds, and as much as a shit show it can be sometimes. So I actually have to say it's been even better with Cameron than in the movie.
I love that art. That's so
Even
cool.
though I have to say, I'd love to chill in a grave next time we shoot a movie.
Truth. I mean, that's my question to you guys. Do you think I am at all like the main character of this movie?
You definitely have similarities, but I wouldn't say you're identical to them. I agree with Seb, but you're definitely more organized.
Am I like
I think you
Me too,
are
though.
alike in the sense of how deeply you put yourself into the films that you are
Yeah.
creating. And I think you will get agitated when people are kind of flippant and whatever about things that are very, important to you, about taking the subject matter seriously, and especially when it is deeply connected to who you are. You obviously don't go to the same extremes as Vita does in this movie by any stretch of the imagination. And I'm talking in terms of the negatives that do arise. But I think, I would imagine, I was not part of your high school film experience, but from what I understand and what I could picture, I'd imagine that you've been in this kind of scenario where you are the filmmaker surrounded by people who do care about you, but don't care so much about the art of it all. And
Oh yeah.
do you resonate then with, ooh, I'm the one person who's taking this seriously, which is such a core element of the film.
I do,
Very
but
much
you
so.
know the other part. I think I'm gonna put on the spoiler
Okay,
ticker. If
well,
that's okay. Or do you have
let's,
one more thing to say? Because there's part of that.
Well, I personally like to, like, before we throw that on, in case anyone might jump out
Right.
at that point, let's give our general, like, did we like it? We don't need to give a rating or whatever right now, but did we like the film? And then if and then
Okay.
we'll jump into spoilers.
I say good movie, kind of hard to watch.
Mhm.
Why hard to watch though? Like because it's like not good, or because the subject matter just makes it hard to
I
watch?
don't know. It's I feel like it's like this art housey kind of film that's kind of like it needs your full attention
Gotcha.
to grasp. So
Gotcha.
it's nothing you watch while, I don't know, knitting a sweater or something you put on the side as like white noise, whatever.
Yeah,
So-
but I don't watch any film like that. So, but,
yeah, but like
of course, this is
like,
your
to
review. For
grasp
people
the whole
who
movie, it
experience
needs
films that
attention.
way,
So, like something that
not for
like,
you.
I had to think about it afterwards. I could have watched it multiple times,
Yeah,
actually, to get more grasp, but I didn't have the time for that, so I watched it once.
I might watch it again at some point.
Yeah,
to be honest.
definitely, I'd watch it again.
Yeah. So to watch to really.
Even though
analyze-
we come to the rating later, but still, I would
Yeah.
watch that movie again, even though it's, and I can say that much, not a 10 out of 10.
Okay. Anthony.
I liked it. I think the first act for me was a little too slow,
Okay.
a little bit all over the place. Like I understood what's going on, but like, I feel like it's one of those movies. I mean, for every movie, you should be fixated on like what's going on and what's happening. But like, there's like certain movies, like Red One. Like, if you were to look away for an instant or not have your attention, like you'll still understand like the storyline.
Sure.
I don't know if that was a good reference to compare these because they're two different movies, but I feel like this is a movie that like at least I had to be engaged for the full time.
I think that's a big art housey thing. Is just like a very long first act. And I don't know if it's just I'm used to it at this point because I try to I had last year I watched so many art house films. Like I made a concerted effort to watch more European art house. That just like
I mean, you
Well,
speed
but I
run
mean-
the festival.
what?
You also speed run the festival.
That's true. I did speedrun a festival again. But I also watched a lot of movies on Mubi this year, right? Like I like at least like 7 or 8 movies out of the like over 100 films that I watched were on Mubi that I streamed. At least 2 films per flight to the US. That's 8 right there. And so like I don't know if I'm just not used to it. I'm just so used to it at this point, or if it's just like this film was shorter than most. But yeah, that's just like an
Still
art
like 90
housey
minutes,
thing.
is it?
No, as in like the first act being so long. This is a short, like 90 minutes is not a long movie. This is a pretty short film in total. That's 100 minutes, so an hour 40. But yeah, Justin, you never actually gave your overall thoughts.
I was waiting for my turn.
Good
Come
point
on,
for that.
Tell us your wonderful opinion that we all love and that we appreciate because it's always good.
So much attention on me. Oh my gosh. This movie rocks. I really, really like this movie. I had a delightful time. I felt deeply for this filmmaker. I thought thank you, Anthony.
That's not how it works.
No, I thought the style was
You
really
gave him a
interesting.
point
Like,
already.
I think
Yeah,
it's such an interesting topic to need to create a film that really connects with audiences, but in a way that is able to explain her love of creating esoteric, or as she would call it, esoteric media. And like, because that's the essential issue, right? How are you supposed to be an artist and create something that is so vulnerable and otherworldly? Because if you're conveying emotion, inherently it's not going to be something that the entire world understands, but also live in a world where you're not going to succeed as an artist unless you connect with an audience. But maybe you don't need to care about that. There's so much really interesting stuff that we delve into here, and I was eating it up the whole time.
I'm really excited to delve into it. That's what I'm going to put on the spoiler ticker. So the thing that I was referencing before, because Justin, you asked this very poignant question. And I love this question of like,
Okay.
early in my like filmmaking career, did I feel like I was the only one taking it seriously? And the answer to that, of course, is yes. Like I can point to specific people and to like even people later, like when I made House Sitters, right, there were people that shouldn't have been on that cast or crew that did not care as much as I did. But even if they worked their butts off. But at that point, it started to change. But also the other thing that I think is very poignant for this film is because not everyone in this crew is friends or family. Right? There are people on this crew that are professionals and that are working professionally. Like the sound guy, for example, right? He comes in as a professional. And it's a very hard struggle, at least in my opinion, to come out and say, oh, this person is a professional and they're taking it seriously when you've worked with people that weren't professionals for so long.
Right.
And so this film is not only about like the first film, but it's about being on the cusp of making something on a level, right? That that first level of like filmmaking is like friends and family, and then that next level is working with maybe not professionals that are working in the industry 24/7, but working with people that are also as enthusiastic as you are, or at least as driven as you are. And it's a really like you might have taken that step, but you never truly like grasp it for a really long time to the point where like even the director like starts doing things on her own because she feels like no one's taking it seriously, or makes decisions, for example, not letting people know that one of the that Cash got into an accident, right? Because she feels that would take away from the seriousness of the movie. And like, terrible thing for her to do.
Yeah.
Something that she shouldn't have done. But to the extent of thinking that you are making a serious film and the things outside shouldn't matter, I understand the idea and the sentiment, even if the action was wrong. If that makes sense.
Would you ever, in the Cash scenario? So for those who are looking for spoilers, we got the whole, she pushes the actors to in a scene where everyone's supposed to be drunk and partying. She has everyone do it. We gotta be method about this, and it does lead to a drunk car accident, and it's
Yeah.
very scary and sad. I just oh gosh, I assumed he was dead. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, me too.
That's
And
what I
then
thought
he's
too.
not dead. And then he's
I'm
not
so
dead.
glad. I'm so
But
glad.
like, it's so like,
I was gonna ask, would you ever have that consideration?
which consideration? The drinking on set? No.
No, sorry. The
Yeah,
not
there's
telling
difference
everyone about the
between
car accident
that's-
to maintain the film.
No, I mean, but that's, I think it's hard only like, so no, I would not like, I think that's the wrong thing to do and the wrong sentiment to do. You need to like let people know what's happening. And also at that point, right, it's a thing about like respect and gaining that respect and like working hard towards that respect. And usually when you come onto a set, a good amount of that level of respect is gained. But as a director, you need to push yourself to keep gaining more of that respect and more of the like bonding, right? That's why the third day of a shoot usually is so much smoother than the first day, right? Because that first day, everyone's still trying to find that groove. And there is a difference between not saying something for a story element, right? Like what I'll do sometimes is if an actor is in a scene, what I'll tell, maybe not tell them something about the other character to either elicit a genuine reaction out of them. But this is on a different level. First of all, they shouldn't be drinking on set. Second of all, they shouldn't be driving after drinking. If there was any point where she's like, I want us to go method, and all the actors, like, even if the actors are okay with it, you then make sure that they don't drive home, because that's on her. That's on the first AD as well, who should have also been kind of in that, who should have also kind of known what's going on, right? There's so much wrong with this that you just don't know how to really work on it. And so now, but that then leads to the logical conclusion of like, everyone leaves. And no one's, I think I wasn't like, there's a point where like, as a director, I felt so like, I felt my heart drop into my stomach when that started to happen. But also I was like, you deserved this.
I feel like I would have stayed.
You know what I mean? Like,
if I was in that
like,
scenario. I get
there's-
it. Yeah.
but I get it,
absolutely.
right? Like I think, Justin, I think the best,
You need trust on a set.
100%. I think the best example from the real life scenario that you and I can talk about is House Sitters, which
Oh boy.
because you were in a garbage bag for like 4 hours in the middle of the hot sun, you had heat stroke,
That did happen.
right?
That's scary. That's actually terrifying.
That was terrifying. And I didn't, and no one, and the only, like, there's two differences in that scenario. One, first of all, you didn't die and you were not off
True.
of set. Second of all, I believe I kept asking you if you're okay or if you need a break.
Was I allowed to drive after that? I think I was allowed to. Wait, what
No,
happened with
I
that?
think Zach drove you after that.
And then I drove back.
No, because Zach then drove
Like
you
I had
his
to get my
place.
car at some point. I'm like, I don't
Zach then
remember
drove
that.
you to his place because he
to like for recovery. Yeah.
Yeah. And I kept asking if you're okay, and also the AD should have pulled you out at some point.
Well, Zach was at least doing a good job trying to block the sun from me,
Right.
occasionally.
But that's like the
Um,
only like scenario that I can talk, like, that I can think of that's like, oh, it's even somewhat similar to what was happening.
I mean, we had one thing. I think it's not to name projects or people, but the first time we two worked together, we had one of the actors who was pretty much intoxicated on set, and so we had to take some takes multiple times.
Sure, but
That
that's
was
not the same
necessary.
thing because that was not something that happened on set. This person came
Yeah, okay. I mean, they came.
high.
to-
They came high, to set high, even though they should have known they weren't supposed to. This is a director sanctioned an event
Mhm.
that
yeah, okay,
cost them their safety.
okay.
Yes.
And there is like, as much as like the joke is on set, right? Like fame is
Yeah.
temporary, film is forever. You do not do that, and that's a very big no-no.
Right? Yeah.
You do not have that sentiment, and you do not think about trying to put people in harm's way, or even if that's even remotely the case, there should be conversations happening long in advance. And
Yeah.
like, even if it's like a stunt thing where like a stuntman can always get hurt. I mean, the example that I think about right now is Harry Potter, where the stuntman for Harry Potter sits in a wheelchair for the rest of his life because he got into an accident on set, right? Like, these are
Really?
things that are talked about and to the T are planned out because this stuff isn't supposed to happen. And not only are you injuring someone for something that is artistic, but you are ruining your reputation as a director or as the leader of a set as a result, right? And so, like, I don't know. I've now gone on a long tangent on this specific topic during this episode, but I feel like it's so
But
important.
it's a key part of the
It's a
film,
very
right?
important, yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the whole synopsis. It's part of the whole synopsis of the film. Like it's most the second act and the third act.
And in terms of what drives a lot of the plot, especially
issues.
for the second act, I wouldn't call it as big of a theme as like birth and creation, but like it's right there. it's
Sure.
right there with it.
And I mean, I'd love to talk about the birth and creation aspect of it, like both the birth and creation, like because like there's multiple birth and creation in this moment in this film, right? There's the birth and creation of like the love for the art and like the reignition of it. There's the birth and creation of a film as a medium and how a film is like your child, right? And then there's the birth and creation on both the lead's end as a person that makes that is the original film that she makes that gets her the first like spot that gets is into the story, but also her, the fact that she gets pregnant and makes a movie about her being pregnant and what that kind of whole situation
Right.
entailed.
She gets pregnant twice, she aborts twice, and the movie does a really cool job of being able to compare aborted pregnancy to aborted film, because it's both these deeply, deeply personal things. I think one of the most okay. Before I get to one of the most interesting things in the movie, I'll tie it in with that boyfriend sucked. Hate that
Yeah,
guy. Was so angry at him the whole time. Is that JJ or am I getting names mixed up?
I
Point
think
being,
that is Jay.
that was JJ.
at first, he seemed okay-ish at first-ish, but like then we have the pregnancy scare scenario. We have him just being a jerk on set multiple times. Him being able, feel like him making things about him in the middle of a shoot, like just demanding to pull her away to chat. And I'm like, I get it, because a lot of there's a thematic element to the film that's like, hey, sometimes you pull away from the seriousness a little bit and take care of the important things in your life, because your life is above the arts in some respects. Oh, but I did not like that guy. Point being, one of tying it back to what we were talking about right before that, I think one of the most interesting elements of the film is a single moment that I'm not sure if we're supposed to read it differently by the end of the film, but I find it really, really interesting, both in isolation and then with hindsight by the end of the film. And that's, they're having their little talk, right? They're sort of maybe breakup kind of discussion. Like, they walk away from the shoot to ease the tension of the crew. And, they seem to start to make up a little bit until the boyfriend says something, tries to talk up about how amazing Vita is. And he uses the phrase, "You could give birth." which she felt gross about that. I felt gross about it as a viewer.
Yeah.
Like, it was like you could tell immediately that was, even before you see her reaction, that was
Well, I think
not
it's
an okay
especially
thing to
because
say.
of the topic of the movie, plus like the topic of the movie that she's making, plus that they just had a pregnancy scare again,
Yes,
right?
on so many levels, it's bad.
Like especially after the fact that he basically like had intercourse with her without a condom, and then didn't do anything about it. And he basically just went, "Oh well," and then gives that sentence. I'm like, you really have no either empathy or you have no awareness of any situation whatsoever. And I don't know which is worse.
He excused himself by going, "Something primal came over me."
Yeah, I was like, what? What?
But,
That's like some Nick Fuentes kind of thought
uh,
over, or like Charlie Kirk kind of thinking right there, that I was just like, no.
so
Oh no.
it may just be meant to be. It is what we just discussed, that moment. But there is another layer to it that makes it extra fascinating to me, because by the end of the movie, we do re-examine birth and creation as something that is a magical thing. Even if it doesn't come to fruition, there's still a magic to being able to create art. And now I'm like, is there something more to that line of "you are amazing"? Because it feels gross to say, so I kind of don't want to give it credence, but the line, "you're amazing, you are able to give birth," and I'm like,
Interesting.
it is gross
Oh.
on a number of levels, but also, like, is there actually truth to it? Not in the sense of, like, obviously
No,
the
not as the fact
things
that
that
she's a-
disturbed
yeah.
Vita should disturb her in that moment,
Yeah.
obviously. But by the end of the movie, you do re-examine this notion of what it means to create and give life to something important to you, and to value it. This is not me being like, "Oh, having baby, that is the answer," because no.
No, I think
But
I'll be very
Maybe
honest,
that is the
Justin. I think based on the movie, I don't think that's how you're ever supposed to read into it.
okay,
But I
agree with that.
100% agree with you, and I know exactly what you're saying,
it's
and I love that.
fascinating at the
And it's
very
very
least.
I think that theme is in the film, right? The idea of like directors are the ones giving birth, especially like these like autoric kind of directors, right? They are there from the beginning and go through the whole process, and I think especially with the fact that only for it to be labeled as abandoned is the
That-
reason why it like becomes so contentious. That's a very wow. No,
Abandoned is wild, right? We could talk about IMDb for a second, because I have strong.
IMDb sucks. Sorry.
I actually have a little ramble to go on regarding IMDb. I don't want to talk over everyone else. I've been talking for a while. Anyone
No,
else have
please. I
thoughts
really
in
want
this
to hear this
area?
now.
I kind of want to hear the ramble too.
Okay, well, okay.
Throwing things on the
I
table.
went to IMDb because it's like, well, if you look right now on IMDb, it'll say that the project was abandoned. I was like, I'm curious if that's still there after this time, because I could see as a result of this film's popularity that
I mean,
could have
it's
changed.
only available on movie, is it?
No, not this movie. Her first film,
Oh, okay.
like the actual
Right.
first film.
Right. It was quote unquote abandoned because it didn't get into film festivals. So like that's a stupid whole thing in itself. But then I went to the page and I was like almost done with the film at this point. I was kind of multitasking a little bit. I don't normally, but I was so intrigued. And then I get there and I'm like, okay, this movie is a 6.2 out of 10 on IMDb. Are you like who in the right mind like is experiencing this personal thing about a person who's putting their whole world into film and their whole self on display, and then they go to IMDb and be like, it was a 4. Like who, like that's not a human normal thing to do unless you're just this stuck-up pretentious person who's like, well, on a technical level, this and this. Do you not feel something when someone's pouring their heart out to you? You're like, this is a 3. And then I look at some of the reviews, right? And like, you're allowed to not think this film is perfect. That is so within anyone's rights. But like, the first review that like it's not this one's a 7 out of 10, so it's not like a super evil review or anything, but like that's the subject line of the review is the film inside the film is really bad though, and I'm like,
Does not understand point of film at all.
do we not
understand.
watch the film? Do we not experience the film? Whether or not you agree that the film inside the film is anything, like, are you just really angry that by the end of the film, Vita doesn't go on and on and on about, well, actually, now that I've rewatched it, I understand it was bad. Is that what you're looking for in this film? Because that's not what the film is about, you know. But then I'm seeing other things that are like, how evil. This is so evil to give the film a 3 out of 10, and then your subject line for your review is esoteric. Because you like that is the verbiage used against this filmmaker in her lifetime, and you just nonchalantly like, oh, I just thought of something clever to run down this film with. Like, these people aren't human. You know, like, who's writing this? Paragraphs and paragraphs about how it's just this part's not up to snuff and this part's not up to snuff. This is such a personal story that you're just kind of like, I don't get it.
Right.
I can't do this. All
All right.
And
yeah.
I mean, you know me, I've had my rambles in the past about rated number systems in the past, but I think this is like, it's just another level.
Takes the cake.
Yo.
Well, just to like give you a little bit more hope in humanity, the average score on Letterboxd is 3.5 out of 5. So it's a 7 out of 10.
That's pretty good.
That's better.
Which I would say is a pretty dang good score for a movie on Letterboxd. Especially because
Yeah,
Letterboxd
people are harsh on there. Yeah.
People are harsh. Yeah.
IMDb is definitely more the the normie websites.
No, it's I don't know about that,
Sorry.
but
IMDb?
I don't think people rate on IMDb.
People will go there and just click a number rating
Yeah.
and move on.
Or
Yeah,
Rotten
yeah.
Tomatoes.
Rotten
Oh,
Tomatoes
Rotten
is like the more. But anyway,
Like the same.
Anthony and Seb, do you have any comments on
Letterbox is where the nerds go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like if people want to bring up a rating for a movie, people who don't care for movies and don't like who go to watch blockbusters only, rather bring up an IMDb rating than a Rotten Tomatoes thing.
I guess.
Because I feel like if you want to be quick about the movie, because I feel like IMDb is the first thing that's on Wikipedia.
I guess. Anyway, guys.
Yeah, about
any
the movie.
yeah. Any other comments about the movie before we move on? Because we only have about 10 minutes left for our topic.
I
Okay,
think
but this is
everything-
more
I
fun.
thought it was like I didn't appreciate. I can't say that word exactly because
Okay.
like I could relate. I guess that's a better word to the struggles, that the director had, and like not every, it was just a good film. I don't know where I'm going with this tangent. I had something in my brain. It sniffled out real fast.
I agree
Seb,
with everything.
please take this
that-
away from me.
Yeah, I agree with everything that has been said so far. I think the movie is definitely better than some people give it credit. And if I had to describe it in one word, I would say spiritual.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Anyway, guys, it's that time. Yes, Justin.
Can I just hit, like, I had a list of things. I could like speed run like the bigger ones real
Yeah.
quick. Thanks.
Give us the speed.
I'll just go over it like in very brief detail,
Sure.
saying
3 words for each point. Now.
I loved the topics of letting go of the seriousness of it all, but especially via her incredible dad character, who's I guess just her dad, who I love and I want to be when I grow up. I was so fascinated by it was Dina, right? Who's the muse, the
Yeah.
actress. And there's something a little bit queer there, but not quite. There was dealing with rejection is so incredibly difficult, and that hit hard. That final sequence, handing over an invisible tissue box, destroyed me.
Yes, same.
That was all
Also,
great.
The hug destroyed me too at the end with the director.
Yeah, that was
That got me.
beautiful. And I want to wrap up by reading one of the first pieces of text that you see in the film, because it like really got me. Notes: this probably shouldn't be a film. ... But it is. and then it makes a sign of my videos are not the film. Well, but then goes on to say, still, I thought the first thing you should see. Oh, sorry. Still, I thought the first thing you see should be joy, because spelled wrong. I am really happy you are watching, happier than you could ever know. And you give it a 3 on IMDb, you jerk!
That was-
5 points made by Justin. 5 points for Justin.
Thank you. Okay, now we could do the.
Now let's-
the
Ready?
the-
We
the-
will rate
Great.
that
Movie.
movie.
With a capital M.
Capital M. All right. I gave this a 4 out of 5 in Letterboxd, an 8 out of 10. I think it deserves that. It might even deserve higher, but it was really good.
Okay.
I'm going
I
to give it.
a 6 out of 10. But as I said before, also, Justin, no, we hate grading systems like that. So I have to say I give it a 6 out of 10, but because I feel like I need to watch it at least a second time to fully grasp it. And I think I need to also watch the original first movie if that's anywhere to be found.
That's the question.
And to like give it a bit more time to really grasp everything in it. And therefore, because I feel like that is not worthy, I give it 7 out of 9 teddy bears.
Okay.
Well, that's really cute.
Anthony,
Give it a 1,000 out of 10.
I'm gonna give
I'm
it
gonna undo all the evil done in the in the
I
world.
need you to write a
world.
review on Letterboxd for the movie.
You should.
I need to see what your comment, because I feel like you'd have such a great comment.
I'm gonna give
I'll-
this an
I'll get
8
on
out
that.
of 10.
Cool.
I also need to watch it again to fully grasp it. But what I did watch first time, I enjoyed it.
We got a topic of the week, and we don't even have that much time
You
left.
want to read the comment that we got? Because I'm fascinated by it.
Sure. Oh, jeez. With the power.
Whomst and why, Stiv, but also thanks, Stiv.
Was that you?
No,
Is that you, Seb?
I wouldn't have the time to do all
Point
this.
Pleasant?
See,
Police
the only
Why would Seb, of all people here, be doing the New Jersey thing?
It's
because-
true.
He's the
Also
least
Point
like-
Pleasant.
But he's the only one to me that goes birthplace of the renowned filmmaker Cameron J. Spector.
No, I would go. What's it? Cameron. Both plays of Cameron Spector, known for his award-winning film *Knocking on Doors*. But
Well, the
who
point.
has the time to make the Point
Wait,
Pleasant?
wait, thank you,
part
thank
of the
you,
YouTube account?
thank you.
No one has the time to make a YouTube
I
account
have a
while doing a
feeling that
podcast.
was you, Seb.
Now I guess we're doing a tier list.
You're getting a point for that, Seb.
1.
1.
The officer just asked you to do 7.
Yes, I understand.
It's a police order. I mean, a point department
Point
order.
department order. All right. I have here a series of 20 films that were a director's first film. Some of these are going to make more. Some of these we've already seen. Some of these I bet you haven't. I bet some of these you don't even know that this was their first film. So that's what we're going to go through real quick. If you liked it or if you haven't seen it.
So now we're naming the movie without naming the act.
Yes,
First?
well, which is why you can't do this because I have.
No,
the-
but can I just read every second? And then
Yeah,
go
but we
through
have
again?
so the first film we have. Some of them are very clear that they're who's in the film. Some of them I'm guessing you won't. Ex Machina. Do you guys know who the first whose directorial debut that was?
James Cameron.
No,
No.
that was I had it, Alex Garland, the director of Civil War, and that was actually a pretty popular film at that time. It was
I hear it's quite good.
A24's, I believe, first sci-fi film, and it went really well. Then we have
The next one is Play Misty for me.
I haven't seen it either. Clint Eastwood's first
know.
film. Clint Eastwood first film, who actually
Wow.
has a movie coming out this year.
It's the Cowboy,
Then we
right?
have 20 Minutes of Love.
by Charlie
Minutes of
Chaplin.
Yeah, it's by Charlie Chaplin. I haven't seen it.
I would have been sad if he wouldn't know it.
I'm gonna give it a D.
Have you seen it?
No,
Okay.
but I feel like I
The next movie is
Bottle Rocket.
Oh, James,
No.
No,
not okay.
Wes Anderson's first film. It's a pretty
Really?
solid. It's it's not my favorite. Yeah. Then we have Clerks.
so much
Michael Bay.
S.
What'd you say, Dustin?
Michael Bay.
No.
Charlie Chaplin.
Anthony, do you know who this is?
Yeah, it's Kevin Smith.
There you go. I actually like this movie.
That's the guy with the theater.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
And
Red
yeah,
Bank.
who's that knocking at my door?
Cameron Spector knocking on doors.
That's
S.
a point to Seb.
How is that a point for you?
I don't know. I'm just trying. Yeah, but who's that by? Do we know that?
I don't know. his
Yeah.
name.
You could know him. Somewhat Italian.
Oh yeah. That's Scorsese's first film, right?
Oh.
Put that right.
Yeah.
It's Scorsese. It's gotta be an S. You already know. You put down the
The
S.
Sugarland Express. No.
No one.
Cameron.
Cameron perfectly misspelled the last name in his.
I did.
notes.
It's Spielberg. Then we got Kicking and Screaming.
I've heard
Don't
of that
know.
film. But just the title.
Noah Baumbach.
Oh,
That's Greta Gerwig's husband.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Um,
next is Lady Bird.
Come on.
We love Lady Bird by yeah, well that's
Genius.
Greta, right?
Yeah, it's Greta. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Then of course we got Eighth Grade.
Burnham.
Yeah, I think that's a good. I have actually.
I
not seen Eighth Grade.
love eighth grade. I love
And
eighth
we
grade.
have the movie about the sheep, Shaun of the Dead.
You guys know who directed Shaun of the Dead, right?
If you say it, I'll go. Oh, right, of course.
Yeah.
It's on the tip
Yeah.
of my tongue. I feel I do. Oh, I know this one.
Yeah.
Maybe the
Isn't he
first.
the lead of
Didn't
the
he
movie?
just say it?
No, he didn't.
What did you just say,
They
Justin?
did not. What was the
Is it-
first
the-
name?
You literally just said the last name in your sentence, kind of.
Oh, that's true. It's Edgar Wright.
Edgar
No.
Wright from Ant-Man, but not. He didn't end up finishing working on. Wait, did
Yeah.
he?
I don't think he did. Then we got Monkey Man,
Oh, I thought that was the
Oh.
Bye Bye Man.
which is by.
Come
on.
Anthony knows.
What is it?
Yes.
What is what?
Monkey Man's director was.
Dev Patel.
Yeah, Dev Patel. It was a pretty decent movie. It's pretty fine. You didn't? Oh no, you didn't see it with me. I saw that with Laura, my friend. Then we got Tick Tick Boom.
Bo
Who-
Burnham's S tier masterpiece.
No, Tick Tick Boom was not made by Bo Burnham.
No, it wasn't.
I meant to say Lin Manuel Miranda. Actually, I felt so confident. I wasn't thinking about, but I was thinking about.
Then we have
I meant
Saw,
I know it's Lin. Anyway, go on.
which I was surprised. This was this first person's first movie.
Edgar Wright.
Nope.
I don't know directors.
John Chu. He's the creator of the Saw series, but apparently Saw was his first movie,
Wow.
which is why I put that up here. I was like, "This is the first movie you made." Fascinating.
Yay.
I've actually never seen it, but I heard it's really good. Then we have the Great Muppet Caper. That should be pretty clear whose directorial debut that
John
was.
Muppet.
Ouch. Is that a minus point? I feel like that's a minus point.
That is a minus point for Justin.
That is a minus point.
But we still love Justin for his good jokes. We love him.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks.
This was Jim Henson's directorial debut as a film. His brother's directorial debut was A Muppet Christmas Carol, which I didn't put on here, but I thought that was very interesting.
Oh, very cool.
I also feel like we don't have all the movies on there that you put in your notes.
Yes, I did.
No.
Then I made mistakes. Praying with Anger,
Whomst?
M. Night Shyamalan,
Classic guy from the
Uh,
Avatar movie.
Step Up 2 was who do you think it is? I only put this in here because I thought it was so interesting that this director started with this.
John Favreau.
No, you're actually
First name kind of right.
yeah, you're kind of right with the John part.
Oh, John Chu.
Yes, it is John Chu.
What?
Yeah.
I said that as a joke because you already said John Chu for a different one.
No, I didn't.
No,
Yes,
he
you
doesn't.
did. That's
yes,
how
I-
I got the name John Chu.
Oh, sorry. Saw is James Wong. If I did that wrong. Oopsie whoopsie.
I don't think that's a very
Question.
appropriate
But I
mistake
can't
to
believe
make.
John Chu did Step Up 2, and then he did Crazy Rich Asians, right? Do I remember this
Yes.
correctly?
Yes.
Has
Crazy
any-
Rich Asians. Then he did what was the first musical he did? In the Heights, and now he's doing Wicked. I'm like, how did you have such a meteoric rise? I love it.
Has any one of you ever seen a Step Up movie in its totality?
And it's the totality of.
Has
the
any
Step
one
Up.
of you ever had the wish to maybe do that in his life?
I like how Andy says yes. Interesting.
Because I
Maybe,
can't
sure,
imagine
whatever.
These last four should be kind of easy to go through. Reservoir Dogs was
No, it's
Edgar Poe.
Pulp,
Mark Wahlberg.
yeah, yes.
no.
No, it's the Pulp Fiction.
Roland
guy.
Emmerich.
Yes, it is the Pulp Fiction guy. Quentin Tarantino's
Roland
first movie.
Emmerich.
I just forgot the name. I just make connections between movies.
Nightmare Before Christmas. We just watched it this year.
Walt
Was
Disney.
whose
is-
directorial
Is
debut?
this Tim Burton? No,
No, because Tim Burton didn't direct this movie.
he was his name is on it, but he didn't direct
Correct.
it.
Similar to Tom, but different. Yes.
That's not the director of
I
Nightmare
said
Before
similar
Christmas.
to a guy named Tom, but different.
No,
Like-
all right. Come on, we watched 2 of his movies this year in the podcast.
I'm
We did.
We
yeah,
did,
I know. We also
Yeah.
did that other one.
and he has a third big movie that I saw in theaters this year that celebrated its 15-year anniversary.
Oh, Henry Selick.
Henry Selick, correct.
I just need the first name. I'm like, yes.
Then
Where?
we have The Watchers, which I don't know if you guys know whose directorial
No.
debut this is.
No. Who is it
This
directed by?
is- It is directed by. I need to find the name again. Or do you want to say it?
Ishang Night Shyamalan?
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan's daughter's directorial debut. I had a big rant about this on the podcast
I believe so,
about
yeah.
nepotism in films, and then The Witch.
Let people have fun. Anyway,
No, not with the money that they got for the quality of the movie that.
Robert Eggers.
Yes, that was Eggers' first film, which is great. I can't wait to see Nosferatu in theaters this week. Oh, I'm so excited. But yeah,
Nice.
so that's a speed run. Basically, what we've learned today is nothing about
Uh,
directorial debuts because they
we
truly
we
mean
absolutely
nothing.
did learn. We learned that none of them make C or D tier movies. Their first movie is always perfect. Unlike
Oh, I'm sorry, that needs to go there.
No, we need a tier behind. Don't know.
Unless you don't know
Vita's,
Yeah.
unlike
Yeah.
Vita's first film.
Like, I think these are just a lot of people's first films that we have here are really good, but I think there are a lot more bad ones. I mean, there are hundreds of first films, but I think I just like wanted to bring that into the fold. I thought this was a fun ranking list. Yeah, that has been our episode today. Anything else, you guys, that you want to mention before our next episode in 2 weeks, which I believe is.
No one.
Does anyone remember what the episode is in 2 weeks? What we're watching?
We're not to Valentine's Day yet, right? That's in
No, we have a
2
couple.
from
No,
now.
no, it's what.
The next one is The Menu.
No, we
No,
just
we
watched
did
that.
that one.
Menu.
We just watched it.
It
Yeah, but I missed
that, so can we do it again?
is- Oh, it's Tetris.
It is Tetris. We're watching Tetris in 2 weeks. I'm excited. It's on Apple TV Plus. If you guys want to watch it at home before the movie.
Wow, do you know that Apple TV Plus is available for free today and stops being free after today?
That's true.
Wait,
I
what,
forgot about
really?
that. Yeah,
It is. It was like a
it was free
weekend
this weekend.
promotion thing where yesterday and today Apple
Because
TV.
in 2 weeks, Severance
you-
season 2 comes on Apple TV Plus. I'm really excited. About that.
That's all I could think about. I love you, Severance. I love you, Severance.
Okay, you guys. That has been another episode of the Capcom podcast.
Really?
Our first one of the new year. I'm so excited for this year. We have so many cool movies planned to watch.
Half of which were planned 5 minutes before this recording.
Basically, we're
That's
planning.
not
the next,
true.
We're planning the next set.
Not true.
These
It is
next
true.
weeks.
Half of basically half the ones that are currently planned, right? All right. Thank you,
Yeah.
Catherine. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you,
But
Catherine.
folks, this has been another episode of the Capcom podcast. Thank you for watching. I'm Cameron.
I am pleased that this was so nice today.
I too am
I'm
pleased.
Anthony.
Thank you.
And we'll see you in 2 weeks. All right, guys.
And I'm Justin.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.